Hello. Already looks better. I did some playing around today with the formatting, got the layout changed, got the lighting a little different. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I know some people like to be right on top of their game as soon as they go live, but I didn't want to get all worked up about getting it perfect from the get-go. I'm someone who has to like dive in and learn by doing. So I'm sure this will all get tweaked and improved as we go along. So I am going to try, if I did this correctly, this should show you my desktop and play some music. You want to know why you can't hear me? You want to know why you can't hear me? I'm a dummy dum-dum. I'm a dummy dum-dum. I didn't have a channel for my microphone, and I've been talking this entire time. This is why I do late night streams to get bugs worked out. So, who am I talking to? I was just talking about how high school wind ensemble was so long ago. Echo, great. Echo, great. How about now? Oh, hey, Paul. I was just talking about The Wizard of Oz. Is the echo better? Yeah, remembering that I was the only freshman to make it in, and that's where I met Mary, because we were the crows. It's gone, thank you. I appreciate that. Still getting all the bugs worked out. Yeah, man, I was thinking the high school reunion's gonna be, mine's gonna be, the 20-year reunion is in, like, next year, like in a year and a half. When did we get old? Aha. Yeah, we didn't have any kiddos, and that's fine with me, but I definitely get it. Yeah, I didn't go to the 10th one. Now I'm just wondering, because I was listening to my stream so I could hear the music, and now I can't hear it. I don't know if there's a way to listen to my own stream in my headphones without... It was awkward. Yeah, that's exactly what I was afraid of. Like, it's enough to talk to people on Facebook and share stuff, but to, like, sit and hold conversations, I don't do social awkwardness. I'll worry about the music tomorrow. But yeah, so I work at home now. I run criminal background checks, believe it or not. I supervise a team that does that, and we've been working at home since March 16th. Yeah, it's interesting. You definitely get a little something different every day. Some interesting criminal stories. So working at home, and then I taught high school choir and piano for 3 years. You know, tried to follow in Mrs. Nichols' footsteps, and that lasted about 3 years, and just not for me. Did not have the temperament. Bless you if you're teaching 8th grade. That is a rough time in any person's life. I did high school, and I taught in a very... Okay, I can say this since you're in Detroit. I was in a very ghetto area of South Carolina, and just not, you know, taking a little young, dumb white girl from up north and dropping her into the middle of that. Shadow Wolf, thank you for the host. I appreciate that. Just doing some late night drawing. Yeah, so I couldn't take the attitudes. And, you know, it was right after the addition of cell phones into the mix. That's, you know, when it was starting to be that every teenager had a cell phone, you know, everywhere all the time, and also the age of starting to see more of the entitlement. And I actually had a student say to me, I'm not going to respect you until you show me respect first. And that just kind of knocked me over a little bit. Not to say that it was all bad. There were good times, and, you know, I had some good students, but every day, every day. I actually had a friend that I met down in South Carolina. Our apartments were kitty corner from each other. And she was from Michigan too, so she, you know, kind of had the same, you know, experience as me growing up. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is such a tiny little pencil. And she it's probably my second year teaching. We were getting ready for a choir festival, or maybe it was even my first year. She had been a choir kid, so she came in to be an outside voice to critique the choir. And we got done with the day, and she went home before me, and she said, I'll meet you at home. And I got home and I went over to her apartment, and she was sitting there crying on her couch. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And she's like, I can't believe they talk to you like that and they treat you that way. And I was like, I know. Why do you think I come home and cry every day? So yeah, 3 years and out. I just could not. And as it turns out, I wouldn't have been able to keep doing it anyway, because I have now I have fibromyalgia, which, for those of you who don't know, is chronic pain and fatigue. So this is why you see me sitting here streaming from my recliner. I mean, I can walk around and I can do stuff, and I'm going to be streaming more art projects from my card table once we get the Christmas tree put away, but I cannot be on my feet all day. I can't overdo it, or I will be on my ass the next day. So what am I doing? I'm blending, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so, but I'm much happier now. I do the church music thing. I actually hit both ends of the spectrum. In the before times, I was both a contemporary praise leader and I was the accompanist and the team leader for an evening contemporary casual service, and I was also the handbell choir director. So very opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, since the pandemic started, at first we only went to digital services. So there were 3 music staff. There was 2 organists and myself. I just do piano. I can't do the organ. I can't handle the stretching, I can't handle not having a sustain pedal. So one of the organists is older and she wanted to stay quarantined, so she kind of stepped back. And the other accompanist and I met with just the 2 of us and our pastor, and then both of our husbands are sound guys, so one of them usually. And we would record a service to go up on YouTube every week. And we did that from March all the way through Easter, through May and into June, and then I think in July we started being able to have in-person services, sort of, and the way we navigated that was to do RSVP. We capped it at 50 people per service. Communion is individually portioned. Everybody's in masks. Every other pew. And yeah, so we've been doing that. Yeah, you guys too. And we just had our governor, which, it sucks, but I also agree that it needed to happen, made the decision to not allow congregational singing because of the spike in cases, even with masks on. So guess who is singing every single song as a solo in every service through all of December and probably all of January? Every Christmas service, every Advent service, everything has been made. Yeah, wonderful. I enjoy doing it though. I like having the chance to still provide in that way for the church and to serve, in that way, doing the music stuff, especially since I can't direct a group right now doing anything. And I've had a lot of people say to me that it's meaningful to them, even though they can only listen in church. We still put the services up online. We meet on Saturday mornings to record the service for the next day, and then we do our rotation of services on Sunday morning. We start at like 7:45, 45-minute service, half hour for cleaning the sanctuary in between, another 45-minute service, half hour for cleaning. So it's been an experience. Yeah. So hopefully our guidelines were extended through the 11th. I hope they get lifted and they allow congregational singing, but if people... Hey! There, I have kitty NASCAR going on around me. If people misbehaved over Christmas and New Year like they did over Thanksgiving, I guarantee you they're going to get extended again. Because people just don't know how to do what they're asked. Hopefully, we see the end of all that very soon. But I won't go there. So, thank you so much, and thank you for stopping in. Anytime you're up for late night feeding or whatever, I'm probably up for late night drawing. So, good luck with the teaching. So, yeah, back to work tomorrow. Good luck with that. That's where I'm at least very thankful that I only have a 45-second commute. And I can go refill my coffee whenever I would like. And I can work in my recliner. That helps my fibromyalgia a lot. So anyone else still here and listening, I hope you are having a good evening and hopefully winding down like I'm trying to. I'm really just kind of messing around to get a concept ready for my gal that ordered this. Just a little bit of shading just to kind of break up the different areas that I'm going to do the different colored tiles. What I like to do with mine, I've only been doing this for a year or so, a couple years, and I've made in varying sizes, probably. There's a button on this pen that I keep clicking. I won't unclick. Probably around 10 to 15 mosaics altogether of different sizes. So I'm still trying to land in my style, but I like differentiating the different sections by orientation and size of the tiles. Like what I'll probably do for the lambs is like itty bitty triangles to kind of mimic the texture of the wool. And then when it gets to the grass, I might do like long skinny rectangles, going in the direction that the grass would be going. And then when it gets to the lake, I might do like, I don't know, maybe I'll stick with the skinny rectangles, but then just have them going this way, and I'll throw in like it'll be all different kinds of blues mixed in all together. I'll probably just cut 3 different blue and maybe even like some cream color, like white color for wake and stuff. And then just like throw them in a bowl and mix them around so that they're all gonna be jumbled up when I go to put them on the surface. The mountains, I'll probably do sections that are triangles, maybe about yay big. In the sky, maybe it's like a bunch of little squares. So not only will the sections then be differentiated by color, but they'll have a little bit more depth and detail with the different texture. Kind of bummed now I can't hear my own music. So I'm going to figure out how to do that. probably blur this around a little bit, see how it looks, just to get the idea of the depth and color that I'm looking for. One thing I wanted to, you heard me talking with my high school friend about doing church music stuff. One thing I want to clarify, and I don't know how many people are going to go back and watch this, so I'll probably say this a couple times, but yes, I am a church musician, and I am a Christian. However, I would like to qualify that, because I think when people hear the word Christian anymore in the media, it can be very cringy. So I just want to make a few things clear. And I'm probably going to get some backlash for this, but I don't really care. My husband and I are not conservative Christians. We are Lutherans, but I have a certain take on some things. I do not believe that it is okay to judge anybody. I don't think that who someone loves or what they decide to do with their body or anything like that should be a matter for the courts. I think that is that person's business, and it is not our place to judge. We believe in doctors. I think that God gave us the ability to understand the world and have people smart enough to learn how to help us take care of ourselves and give medical advice, and so I will be following the medical advice of my doctors. And I'll come back and touch on that in a second. My purpose is to be kind. God wants us to take care of each other and to love each other and to be there for each other and help each other get through life. And so that's what I want to do. And I don't care if you are white, black, brown, purple, gay, transsexual, Muslim. Do not care. You are welcome here. I will be kind to you. You are a wonderful person, however you are. And I just want to share artwork and share good feelings and good times and be there for people if they need an ear and all that good stuff. When I was talking about the medical stuff before, it made me think, I can appreciate that some people, you hear them say things like, well, I have cancer, but I'm not gonna take chemo because, I'm just gonna pray and God's gonna take care of me. Well, yeah, he is. However, think of the story of the guy who the town was flooding, and the guy came on the news and said everyone needs to evacuate, the town's gonna flood, you need to get out and get to safety. And the guy says, no, I'm gonna stay here because God's gonna take care of me. So he stayed in his house, and the water started rising, and then a guy came by in a boat and said, hey, the water's rising, it's getting dangerous, you gotta get out, let me take you to safety. The guy says, no, God's gonna save me, God's gonna take care of me, I pray, I'm a Christian, God's gonna save me. So the guy leaves, and then the water gets really high, and the guy has to go up to his roof, and so a helicopter comes by and yells down, hey, the water's gonna take your house away. Let me save you. Let me get you out of here on the helicopter. And the guy said, no, I'm a Christian. I pray. God's gonna take care of me. Well, guy's house floats away, and the guy dies. And he gets up to heaven and he says to God, I'm a Christian. I pray. I thought you were gonna take care of me. He said, I sent you a news broadcast, a boat, and a helicopter. What more do you want? If a doctor tells me to wear a mask and wash my hands, stay away from people, I'm gonna do that. So, I'm not gonna I am not here to create this channel to beat anybody over the head with the Bible. That's not how I roll. Like I said, I just want to be kind, and, you know, have fun with my fellow peeps on Earth and help them get through things. But I just wanted you guys to know where I stand. So don't be afraid of the word Christian all the time. Not all of us are cray-cray. Some of us are chill. I curse. That's probably not the right answer. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. That's kind of the point. So I'm cool with you if you're cool with me. And even if you're not cool with me, I'll probably still be cool with you. I try. Yeah, exactly, Shadow. Just, you know, have everybody have an open mind. Just listen to each other talk. And, you know, doesn't mean I'm trying to change what you believe. Doesn't mean, you know, we can't be cool with each other and be friends either. So, yeah. Yeah. Yep, and like I said, I'm not out here trying to change anyone's beliefs because I'm just not good at that kind of stuff. I'm terrible about, you know, I hate confrontation. I don't do well in debate. I get flustered. I can't. I can't do it. Even me saying as much as I did tonight is like a huge deal because I was going back and forth on whether or not I'd even say anything, but I didn't think I could also get around the fact that I'm a church musician, so I figured I should say something. So I don't even know what I'm doing with this at this point. I guess it looks cool. It's kind of watercolory. It's just a concept for a mosaic anyway. It's not going to be a final something that I print. So let's move on to the mountains. So I know that I'm going to, as soon as my capture card gets in, want to be streaming probably most weeknights, doing either Fall Guys or Animal Crossing, or I know some friends that wanted to get together and just start gaming, so I'm sure there's going to be whatever games they want to be doing and some random stuff. But that's my plan. Probably gaming during the week and then the art stuff on the weekends. We'll see how that goes. I may change my mind. I have a pseudo schedule up right now in my profile. I think I have like Fall Guys on Tuesdays and Animal Crossing on Thursdays, and then the art stuff on Saturday and Sunday. Saturdays are going to be my big project days. Those are when I'm going to want to sit down and knock out some progress on whatever commission I'm working on. And have you guys along for the ride, and hopefully co-streaming with some other gals. I know Miss Envy talked about even just having days where people are working on their projects, or they get, you know, adult coloring book pages, and we all just kind of stream together and chat and see what chat wants to talk about, and, you know, maybe get into, you know, some mental health stuff and just learning how to relax and de-stress. So hopefully that kicks off pretty soon. I think we're all in a New Year's type of momentum, and, you know, new year, let's get some new things started, let's get it going, make those changes and let them stick. So if any of you guys have any resolutions that you're trying to keep, I'd love to hear them. Been a lot of talk about that the last couple days. My biggest resolution was actually this. Getting this rolling and not letting the momentum die. I had kind of started to get passionate about this in, like, I don't know, sometime during the summer. And I don't know why, I just kind of backed off, and I wasn't even watching streamers for a couple months because I don't know if I was just getting into other TV shows and then like when that urge to stream died out, I was like, oh, well, I guess that wasn't actually a thing. But then I started watching streamers again about a month ago, and you know, people like Miss Envy, Snowbike Mike, and Gary Witta were all encouraging about, you know, if you want to do something like that, get out there and do it. And I saw, yeah, that's how Miss Envy was encouraged, you know, by Snowbike Mike as well to do the same thing. And now she's getting her daily stream on during the week, and she restarted her Animal Crossing island. I just restarted mine like a week before. So yeah, hearing people talk about that kind of stuff just made that bug stick again. So I always find it interesting seeing the different kind of things that people have resolutions to do at the new year. You know, I think it is still kind of the thing to want to lose weight and be healthier. And yes, I do too. I bought a treadmill that's sitting over there because I was starting to get up and go out for a walk in the middle of the day during the summer, working at home. But now that it's winter and it's cold and snowy and gross, I don't want to be walking outside, but I work at home, and so it would be very easy for me to just come down for work and then sit in this recliner all day. So I got the treadmill, and I told myself that at least 3 times a week, starting tomorrow, I am going to, at some point during the day, get up and walk as much as I can. I didn't want to set a specific minute or distance goal because of the fibromyalgia. Every day can be so vastly different depending on how you're feeling, and you know, and all of that. So I find it counterproductive at this point now to get too specific, because then I just get frustrated because I feel like I failed. So just, yeah, kind of generic goals of getting up more during the week. So I figured saying I do it 3 times, you know, was kind of good enough. So we'll see how that goes. I did also just get some new medication for anxiety. I don't do politics. I do not have political discussions. I hate watching the news. But, you know, just last year, so many things were just unavoidable. And I'll tell you what, by July, August, and then getting into the elections, it got to me. It seriously got to me. And I had struggled with anxiety when I was teaching in South Carolina because of so many, that and other things that were going on in my life. I got put on Lexapro and was on that for about 3 years, and then my life situation changed and everything really slowed down and calmed down, so I went off it and had been doing fine up until this year. Oh, I gotcha, Shadow. Yeah, that's yeah, I totally get that. You know, with fibro, with COVID, you know, it's not just about the survivability, it's the possibility of the after effects. My sister had it. My boss is just getting over it, and they were all very careful people, for the record. It just, you know, it happens through different things. But they both deal with the ongoing fatigue, and I know if it either got into my lungs and put me in the hospital, I don't know if I would have the strength to fight it off with the fatigue and my body already kind of at like half-mast. And then also, if I were then to survive it having the possible long-term effects that some people are having compiled on top of the fibromyalgia symptoms. So I'm not trying to do that. So doing the church music and working from home, that's the only thing that I've been doing. We order all our groceries online. You know, I've been to the doctor's office, but that was it, and it was because I had to. Yeah, and I'm happy you enjoy the streaming. I'm really looking forward to this too. I'm finding myself already thinking about the next stream as soon as I finish doing one. So I think this is going to be something that stick. I don't know what AIH is without looking it up. But yeah, so I did, like I said, I went to the doctor and I got the anxiety medication because I had struggled with it before. And like I said, I went off it and was doing okay. But it got to the point this year where I had changed my eating habits to try to fix it. I changed my sleeping schedule to be regular. I was doing yoga. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yoga, I had found a bunch of like fibro-friendly yoga exercises and I was starting to do it every night. I was doing breathing exercises. I was trying to just limit all of my stressful activity, you know, not watching anything that was going to get me hyped up. And I still just felt this constant like nerve activity, anxiety, constant fight or flight mode. And I knew at that point that it was a brain chemistry issue, because if you can't fix it with the environmental factors, you just got to chalk it up and ask for help at that point. You know, and I'm not depressed, not suicidal, nothing like that. You know, I didn't, I can very much appreciate the value of therapy. I was actually even going to be a family life counselor. But I knew that wasn't the issue. So it was, and almost immediately, within a week of taking the medication, I already started to feel better. And as it turns out, Cymbalta, the medication that my doctor put me on, also helps with fibro nerve pain. So that has helped me there. And then she has now since also put me on another pain medication, gabapentin, which is not habit forming. And I can take that during the day and work just fine, and it's not addictive. And then also on a medication that I take first thing in the morning that's supposed to help with my energy level. Because another thing with fibro is you can have a full night's sleep and then wake up feeling like you never slept at all. Because sometimes because of the constant nerve activity, it doesn't let your body get into that full state of sleep, the deep REM sleep. So yeah, I'm having much better mornings. My pain level is at a point now where I can actually get up and like help my husband with some things around the house. That was an emotional blow to me, knowing that I couldn't be like super wife. But my husband is a wonderful man who will vacuum and do the dishes and all the things that I sometimes can't. But yeah, being able to help him took a big mental load off. Yeah, I don't know where else I was going with that. But yeah, if you think you need help, ask for it. And actually the reason why it took me so long is I just took so long to even find a doctor, because I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia by my chiropractor, and I know some people don't subscribe to chiropractic stuff, and I have a well-educated, learned chiropractor who keeps up on real medical practices and stuff like that, so I'm not worried about it. But I was worried that I was going to get a doctor who was just going to question all of that, and then I'd have to go through all the testing again, all the food testing and the pressure points and discussing all that, because fibro can be hard to diagnose, and I was worried about that taking like years. So I was just hesitant to find a doctor. Plus, obviously I am a bigger gal, and I kind of didn't want to know what the blood tests were going to show for a blood panel, because I hadn't had them done in like 2 or 3 years, and my levels had always been good, but I'm getting older, and that's going to take a toll at some point. But I finally did find one. Ironically enough, it is my chiropractor's doctor. He told me I needed to go see her specifically, and to not let them give me any other doctor but her. So I went. Not only did she not hassle me about my weight, because I know, I get it. I know how to eat healthy. I know I need to exercise. It's a matter of willpower, which sucks. And the fact that with exercising, sometimes I can't. But she didn't hassle me, and she didn't second guess the fibro stuff, and got me on a really good track with the medication. So it's, you know, I almost kind of think like, well, I did all that worrying for nothing, but yeah, so don't be afraid to ask for help. And, you know, I was lucky to find the right fit right away through the help of someone else. But if you don't find the right fit, keep pushing at it and get you someone who is a good fit for you and who will fit. Because, you know, you need to take care of yourself as well. Especially if you're kind of like me and you want to be helping other people. You got to go back to that thought of, you know, in an airplane, you got to put your own mask on before you can help someone else with their mask. If your tank is empty, if you got to take care of some stuff with you before you can help take care of other people, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's okay to admit when you need that. Oh, doesn't recognize your own liver. Gotcha. Oh, so you have to weaken your immune system to do that. Yeah. So have you been able to stay like quarantined and away from people and you know, that kind of safety measure? Yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry you have to deal with that, but it, you know, hopefully you're in a life situation where you can take care of yourself the right way. And, you know, it sounds like you're doing well with, you know, streaming and getting into something that you enjoy so that you can look forward to something. I know it can be easy to fall into that trap of like, well, now what am I good for? Like, now what can I do? But yeah, it sounds like you're on the right track there. So that's good. Honestly, when I got told I had fibromyalgia, there's only been like 1 or 2 times that I've been truly pissed off. And it's because I wasn't able to like help my husband with something that I normally would have wanted to do for him. But when I first got told that that's what it was, that turned out better than I thought it would. Squirrel! Yeah. When I first got told that that's what it was, I honestly was relieved because it was the first thing that made sense. What I love about the way my chiropractor did it is he didn't tell me that that's what he was looking for a year, like a year. He was having me do all these different kind of food tests and trying, you know, oh, well, try leaving out this, and now try leaving out like these 4 things at the same time. And, you know, tell me, you know, exactly where you feel the pain and describe it. And it was like the pressure points, and then the bruised feeling, and then the nerve thunderstorm feelings. And he was, you know, putting all this together. And then finally when he'd gotten it, and we did like x-rays and stuff too. By the way, another reason I'm in the recliner is because my right hip is a little bit cockeyed. And like I said, I can still walk and do stuff, but if I sit upright in a chair without my feet elevated for too long, that I have a bad time. So that's why I'm streaming from my recliner sometimes. But yeah, so he didn't even tell me. And then when he told me that that's what he had found out, I went home and I looked up info from like the Mayo Clinic and stuff like that, and it ticked every box. I was like, it finally makes sense. I can deal with this because it has a name and I know what it is. And that was more of a relief than I thought it was going to be. And so I just kind of rolled with it and was like, well, this is my life now. So we're going to figure out how to adapt to this, and we're going to go from there. So, you know, lots of people handle things different ways, but I'm thankful that that's kind of the attitude that I naturally had, and it wasn't an attitude that I had to force upon myself. Yeah, I wouldn't do public transportation either. I definitely get that. Those things can be little moving petri dishes. Yeah, knowing what you're going up against, just that it's not like the unknown will drive you crazy. That's where one of the my husband and I we're one of those couples that will sit at home and watch like murder documentaries sometimes. And when we were watching things like Unsolved Mysteries, the biggest thing about that just would blow me away is like, I couldn't deal with the unknown of like living the rest of my life not knowing what happened to my husband or a child or parents or whatever. So yeah, just the unknown freaks me out. So I try not to worry about it too much. It has not been easy to get myself to naturally think this way and not force myself to think this way. But I'm trying now more to be a one day at a time kind of person. And I think I've been able to do that somewhat successfully because I say it so much to other people. To just not think too far ahead. Like, yes, it's good to be responsible and make plans for things you need to do, like paying your bills and, you know, where your career is going to go, you know, to a certain extent and, you know, things like that. But worrying about something that might or might not happen, you know, 3 months from now and there's nothing you can do about it. I was getting way too eaten up by that. So it's taken a while, but I think I've been able to kind of get myself to back down from that cycle, and just enjoy what I am doing now. So, you know, going into doing the Twitch streaming, I'm not even into it for any expectations of earning money. I just figured, hey, if I do, then it's a surprise, and that'll be great. So I have no huge expectations other than getting in here, making some art, playing games with friends, and seeing if people want to come along for the ride along the way. I am looking forward to getting into having fun with playing games and stuff. I think that being able to like get some like actual engagement and involvement with chat and get into games with people is going to help too. You know, I actually kind of hate hearing the sound of my own voice. So the fact that I'm even sitting here talking this long is amazing. Yeah, being able to stream with other gamers and play around is something I'm excited about. Yeah. That's funny. I mean, it's not funny that's what you were doing, but yeah, the thousands of possible futures and Doctor Strange, I like that. You gotta be able to laugh at yourself. That's another thing that I've learned. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. I am what I like to call a recovering perfectionist. I would just get way too bent out of shape if something didn't go right the first time. Like streaming without your microphone on for half of the art stream, or the first time that you fire up your stream ever, the webcam is juddering and the sound isn't working. If that happened to me last year, I would have just been like so pissed off. Like you probably wouldn't have seen me for a day or two just because I would have had to calm down. But you know, just getting to the point where you can be like, live and learn, whatever. Now I know how that works. You know, now I know I gotta actually add the microphone feed to my sources in my stream before I, you know, when I create a new scene in Streamlabs. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I get annoyed at myself. Like right before this, I was watching Gary Whitta's stream, and they were playing Among Us with Felicia Day and the guild, and then afterwards they decided to open up Among Us customs, the public lobby or the private lobbies, and I usually have pretty good luck getting into those because I type at like 103 words a minute. So as soon as they rattle off the code, I've got it fired in. But I got in first time and went to go play, and my controller is doing nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? So I look at it. I didn't even have the controller plugged in. And I haven't figured out if it can Bluetooth to my computer yet. So it has to be plugged in. Just no lights, no nothing. Good job, Heather. Great job. I'm trying to think of other examples where I could have easily gotten my knickers in a twist. Being a performer kind of beats that out of you too, especially when you do it so much. Like I said, with singing so much for the church this last year, and even in high school and college, being in theater, if you get too wrapped up on any one mistake, you got to learn from stuff, but not to the point where you make it like something that consumes you and keeps you from moving forward. I think after this, I'm going to move on to the sunset and get some pretty oranges and reds and yellows going here. Aha! What do you do for work? And where are you if you're just starting work? Are you in another area of the world, or are you night shift? The way I see it for me, I start work anywhere from 8 to 9, kind of my own choosing, depending on how bad the morning looks. I can check my email from my phone. So if I get to bed around like 1, get up at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, I'm still getting like 7.5, 8 hours of sleep. Ah, England. Nice. Oh, customer service. I am so sorry. Hopefully you don't get treated as badly over there as some people treat customer service over here. Oh, dumb. Let's do this. I was in London for 3 weeks when I was in college, and I loved it. But yes, yeah. I could not do customer service. I was at the company that I'm at now, where we do background checks. The department that I started in runs nuclear background checks. And there's a lot of regulations you have to follow. There's a lot of specific questions you have to ask, and certain ways that you have to do things that involve talking to people that don't want to talk to you and don't want to answer the 9th iteration of the same question that you've already asked, but you have to ask it anyway. And no, you can't take that company's word for it that they run an automated system because you did it 3 weeks ago. You have to talk to them again, even though you know that they use an automated system. It was not for me. I am not a salesman. When someone tells me no, just, okay, thank you. I am not someone who can push to get answers and stuff, and I hated it. So I could not do customer service. I would cry. takes a certain type of person to be able to move on from that. Yeah, when I was in London, we had what was called May term in college, and it was after classes were done, like the end of April, beginning of May, you could do a 3-week accelerated course, and it was the same amount of hours as like a full semester was, but because you took like 4 or 5 hours of the class a day for the 3 weeks, and there were some that they would do over in London. So I took arts, religion, and politics in the ancient world, and we spent almost every day at the British Museum, and that was fascinating. Oh no! Not crying on Christmas Eve, that's terrible. You know, I think I remember, I don't know whose chat you were in, if it was Gary's or whose or Mike's, but yeah, oh, that's so sad. I don't know why people have to, you know, I'm just gonna get "Be kind" tattooed on my forehead, just for everyone to see all the time. Just be kind. Be kind. You never know what someone's dealing with in a day. Like, are you gonna be the person that just sets someone over the edge for the last time, you know, just because you're pissed off you didn't get your shipment on time or whatever? In Miss Envy's, yeah. Yeah, that's rough. London, arts, religion, politics, British Museum, every day. I love that stuff. I remember being really enthralled by the Egyptian section. So that was very interesting. And so we would go to the British Museum almost every day. I mean, we took like trips to, if it was Cambridge or Oxford, I don't know, one of those old colleges, where the history comes from. And some of those little trips, but mostly at the museum. And then we would be set free at like 1 o'clock every day, and they would just say, okay, go do whatever. So I blew almost all of my money on musicals. I saw Les Mis in London. I saw Phantom. Chicago with Brooke Shields was in it. That one, I went to the stands where you can get the tickets like same day, where it's like they just didn't sell enough of them for that night and they're knockoff prices, but you don't know what seat you're gonna get. And for Chicago, I was in like there were like 3 or 4 levels, but it was basically like straight up. It wasn't like baseball stadium seating. It was like almost straight up, and I was in the top on the balcony, so I was like looking down at the stage, and you could see like all the behind the stage people running around and changing scenery and all that kind of stuff. It was actually quite interesting. Stomp was the other one I saw, and I love that audience engagement with that one. That show was fun. They do a good job. In hindsight, I want to say I still would have done the same thing, just because I was so into musicals at the time. But people were taking weekend trips to like, you know, France and all that kind of stuff. I wish I would have maybe taken a weekend trip to Scotland while I was there, because that's where my heritage is. But alas, I did not. So what I'm hoping in the times when we can travel again is that I can get enough weight off and my medications will work enough to where I'd feel comfortable traveling again without too much hassle. Right now, if I were to travel anywhere overseas, I would have such a miserable time on that long of a flight. It would be terrible, and I would need like a couple days to recover. And then like, how long do I have to make my vacation if I have to rest for like 2 or 3 days in between everything I do? Scotland is amazing. Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get there before I die. You know, so hopefully that will happen somewhere down the road in the future. We shall see. And like I said, my husband's from his family originated in Norway. I want to go to Scotland. I really want to go to Italy. He was in the Air Force. He was in the Air Force for 10 years doing vehicle maintenance. And we almost were to the point where we were going to put in a PCS to either Italy, Germany, or London. And then that's when he got out because his it was right at the point where they were starting to do the budget cuts in like 2010, and his knees were already trashed and he was going to be on like medical disability. So they just said, well, you know, you're gonna be done now. So they didn't let him re-up, so we didn't get to go overseas, but that's okay. Edinburgh, yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we shall see. So we wanted to get over there and go to Italy and all those places. What I wanted to do was take a cruise, but now I don't know. I think they're gonna have to make some decent improvements to the way cruises work if I'm gonna be comfortable doing that anytime in the next 5-10 years. We wanted to take we are adult children. We had a Disney themed wedding and we went to Disneyland on our honeymoon 8.5, almost 9 years ago. So we wanted to take a Disney cruise to Alaska in 2022 for our 10-year anniversary, and I don't know if I see that happening right now. So yeah, and this is a testament to how wonderful a man my husband is. He and I had taken, I keep bumping my microphone, I hope that's not making horrendous noises. We had already taken multiple vacations together, close to when we were getting married. When he got out of the military, we took his separation pay and used up his terminal leave time to take a week-long trip to, this was before I got sick, to Orlando, and went to all the Disney parks and Universal Studios and all that. Went to the beach, and then we actually that year had 2 cross-country road trips because when he got back from Korea in 2009, I was still teaching. He had gotten transferred up to here to Eastern Washington, where we live now. But I had to stay in South Carolina to finish teaching out the school year. So we put half of my stuff in a U-Haul and took it across the country in November of 2009. And I flew back to South Carolina, finished teaching that school year. And then in June, he flew out to South Carolina. We put the rest of the stuff in the U-Haul, and once again, drove it all the way across the country from South Carolina to Washington. 6 months apart, seven months apart. So we had a lot of time together, and because of that, and the fact that I never got to see my family hardly ever, except maybe once every 2 years, because they live in Michigan and I was all over the place. He was totally cool with my parents coming with us on our honeymoon, and we turned it into a family vacation instead, because my parents and we would go to Orlando once a year for like a week or 2 weeks because of my dad's business trips. So that was a big family memory for us. But we had never been to Disneyland in California. So when they flew out for the wedding, they came with us to California, and we had a big old family vacation for our honeymoon, and I will never be able to repay my husband enough for doing that. So you find you someone like that. Yeah, my husband is a big old teddy bear. I love him so much. You know, I wish that she ordered a watercolor instead of a mosaic, because this is actually looking kind of cool. All right. Let's see. Let's see if I can make the switch. I guess we go into purple. Yes, maybe. Kind of gradually get there. Just a little bit. I had a thought and I don't know what it was. I know what I didn't do though. I did not order groceries. Oopsie. So I guess we're ordering out tomorrow night. That's one thing that we have tried to do also, is support local restaurants, because we especially we moved out to the country. We are about 20 minutes outside of Spokane, way up in the woods, but there is a little community out here with a grocery store, a Zips, a Subway, a pizza place, a wine bar, another kind of bar, like a massage place, and a library, and a Mexican restaurant. Just basically like 7 or 8 restaurants and a grocery store and a library and the Department of Licensing. Like, it's more or less what's out here. So we've been trying to order from the smaller places just to help them stay open. And what was really sad is there is a they're actually doing, I shouldn't be sad because they're doing well, but there's a new ramen place. I say new, they've been open like 10 months now, which is really cool to see out here, something healthy. They have lots of like ramen soups and all the natural stuff, and like veggie broths and yeah, things like that, and like a ramen burritos and orange chicken and all that kind of stuff. And this family had been working on opening this place for a while, and we're just getting ready to do their big opening, and they were open for like not even a week, and then all the quarantine and the shutdown started happening, and it sucked for them. Yeah, and especially, oh, that scared me. Thank you so much for the follow, Paradise Tea. Appreciate it. I'm going to turn that notification down a little bit. I don't know if you saw me jump. I love that restaurant too, because they, alert box. Take you down to like 50%. Is the rest of the sound still okay? Oh no, you're fine. You're totally fine. There's the music still going. My microphone's not cutting in and out, nothing like that. They take teenagers who are kind of like at risk, you know, not doing so great. And okay, thanks, Shadow Wolf. And they give them jobs. They teach them how to work, you know, in the workforce and have good business practices and job ethics and stuff like that. You know, so it was really rough to see them, you know, have to struggle right from the get-go. They couldn't have anyone actually in their restaurants, and they had to go straight to like carry out only. But the community really banded together and threw a lot of orders in towards the towards the local restaurants, and I don't think anybody out here had to shut down. I mean, you know, they're kind of struggling, but you know, I don't think they're in any danger of closing, so that's nice to see. So we'll probably go order from them tomorrow, since I'm a slacker and did not get the grocery order in. See? And my cat, one of my 4 cats, oh so nicely reminded me that they were about out of food. I had enough to fill their feeders one more time, but we have, I don't know if you can see behind me, this ledge around the room. And over on that side of the room, by the windows, is where we have 2 cat feeders that we just keep filled, and they just kind of graze. And when they are empty, Denozo, who, if you saw my little like 12-minute stream where I was checking my lighting and talking about our pets, he was the cat that I had on my chest. He's a little asshole, and he will look at me and push the empty feeder off the ledge onto the floor. And then he'll walk over, and if I don't get up fast enough, he will do it to the other one. And what he does not realize, which I don't know why I keep doing it, because he's obviously not getting the drift, is that when he does that, the longer it takes me to go pick them up and fill the cat feeders. That's not working. So anyway, I need to definitely make sure we buy cat food before they run out of that again, or he's gonna start knocking other shit over. It's another thing that has been helpful that I've been working from home all year is I have adorable co-workers who just sleep all day and stay out of my way. Except my dog has become very spastic lately. We've started giving her these, I don't know if the brand is Pedigree, but they're these dental sticks, and she knows she gets one in the morning when I go down to start work for the day. Because my husband leaves for work before me, and he puts her in like the guest bedroom. Yeah, if only all coworkers like that. Yeah, can they all be furry and wag their tail when I walk in the room, please? That'd be great. When I let her out of the guest bedroom in the morning to go downstairs, she is like 8-9 years old, and she was starting to slow down. And after we got her those dental sticks, which they even smell good to me, I don't know if they lace it with bacon grease or what, but she could not bounce out of that room fast enough and try to get me to go downstairs. So, you know, at least I found something that keeps her happy and entertained, I guess. We did, it's been just a little bit over a year, but we did lose our oldest boy, November of 2019. He was a border collie, golden retriever, big, beautiful, long-haired black dog. Just like one of those dogs that they're like an old soul. You know, when you look in their eyes, they got that, thank you. They've got that look like, yeah, I'm chill. I know some shit. I've been around the block. I'm here for you, and you know, we're cool. So he was our first boy. If I do that, does that delete that message? It did. And he got diabetes a couple years before he died. We just noticed like he was peeing a lot and even starting to have accidents in the house, and he would drink so much water. Oh my goodness, you would think that he was a camel with like 4 humps that he had to fill. So we took him in, found out he had diabetes, and so we had to give him insulin shots twice a day for like 2 years. So we got close. I hated having to have the days where you do like a blood, like a glucose like test for a whole day. You have to take his blood sugar like every 2 hours, and, like prick him in the ear and take the blood readings. That was sad, but he was such a... We have been blessed with such amazing dogs who just have the sweetest temperament, and they're well behaved, and they're just so gentle. So yeah, we dealt with that, and he was such a good boy about it. But then, like right the week before Thanksgiving of that year, he just went downhill so fast. Like, didn't even want to eat at all. Couldn't, like, my husband had to carry him down the deck stairs just so he could go potty. So we made the decision that his quality of life just was not going to bounce back. That's not what I wanted. That's probably one of the hardest days that we've ever had. I didn't have any childhood pets, so I hadn't gone through that before, and my husband didn't have to deal with it too much either. So it was a hard day. But yeah, it was for the best, and I feel bad sometimes that we haven't gotten another friend for Minerva, but my husband's just not ready. And I respect that. It's not what I want to do. So anyway, my point was it's nice to see her kind of acting puppy-like, because I was starting to get afraid that her not having a buddy to run around with was starting to take a toll. I want you to blend more. Yeah, so we'll see. I really want to get a couple. This is nerdy. I would really like to get a couple of pit bulls who are misunderstood, for the record. They are some of the sweetest, most loyal, gentlest dogs that you will ever meet. Don't let the fact that some people don't know how to properly take care of and train a dog cloud your judgment of that breed, please. But I just really want to get 2 boy pit bulls and name them Thor and Loki and have them be like my boys, and they follow me everywhere, and they're my mama's boys. So we'll see if maybe someday that happens, but I keep asking my husband every few months to see if he'll budge, and I even found like 2 brother pit bull puppies that were close by, and he doesn't say no to me very often, but when he does say no, I want to respect that. So I'll wait. We'll be patient. I do understand the fact that we have already a dog and 4 cats and a chinchilla. But we moved out to the country for a reason, right? We got more space. No, that's not how that works. Okay. I would, if in a different life, if I had more energy, I could totally see myself doing like an animal rescue kind of situation. But we do not have the stamina. Although if I did eventually get to the point where I didn't have to work anymore and I could just be a stay-at-home artist or whatever, I can see like fostering puppies and stuff. Oh, 20-year-old cat. I hope my cats live that long. No, you don't think so? Did the dogs live with the cat that you lost? And would you think they would just be territorial, or you know what I would do? I would get a kitten. She was here first. I would get a kitten and let them have like I don't know if your dogs are boys or girls, but like that parental type instinct, and like, oh, 2 girls and a boy, yeah. You know, see if they would have that like, oh, this is something I get to take care of now. Yeah, you never know. Maybe a foster situation might be good, and just kind of see how they handle it. But that's one thing I don't understand how we were this lucky, but all of our animals get along. I mean, obviously not the chinchilla and the cats. We wouldn't, you know, go there, but all the cats and all the dogs got along. It was so funny. My oldest cat, Jethro, he's a grumpy old man. And Griffin, our boy that we lost last year, he was Jethro's security blanket. Everywhere that dog went, that cat followed right behind, and they were grumpy old men together. Griffin wasn't really grumpy, but and so Jethro just kind of like didn't know what to do when Griffin was gone. And we did take Minerva with us when we put Griffin down, just so she could see and like understand that he was gone, and that's he wasn't coming home. It kind of worked and it kind of didn't. I'll circle back to that, but you know, the cats didn't get a chance to, you know, we were going to cart all 4 of the cats in there too, so you know, they just kind of had to accept it over time, and Jethro kind of didn't know what to do, and Minerva like almost didn't want to have anything to do with anybody for a while, but when she kind of got herself put back together, now they are best buds, and she is his security blanket, so they don't, you know, whenever they go in to go to sleep, you know, Jethro has to be trailing right behind Minerva, and yeah, it's cute to see. Even when Griffin was alive and we were living in the apartment, and we had another dog. We had a black lab for a little while, but she was way too energetic and we had to rehome her. But the 2 of them and Jethro, we had one of those large like black wire dog kennels that was in the kitchen for Phoenix, for the lab. I would walk into the kitchen, both dogs and the cat would be laying in there taking a nap together, like, without being like, I didn't tell them to go in there. They didn't have to be in the kennel in the kitchen. They just all went in there and laid down and took a nap together. So I don't know, we've always had a weirdly wonderful dynamic with all of our cats and dogs. I forgot what story I said I was going to circle back to. I don't know. Oh, it was the day after. I really don't want to relive the day that he died, but the day after, it was so sad because the other thing that happened that week, I think this was the week that my anxiety kind of started to kick off. But why did I do that? The day before we put Griffin down, my car pretty much almost exploded. My coworker, who was a friend of mine, had borrowed my car at lunchtime, and the transmission just like totally seized, like it threw something that was gonna jam it up, and Like, it just basically, like, locked the brakes immediately. And fortunately, my friend had already gotten pretty far down the off-ramp and had pulled up to an intersection. And if that would have happened, like, 10 seconds before, he'd have been flying at, like, 60 miles an hour when that happened. So yeah, the, like, car totally died. So the day after we put Griffin down, that night, my husband, I had to stay up until like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning to put him on a train to go over to the west side of the state so he could get his mother's vehicle for me to borrow. So that night, like, Minerva, our dog that we still have, her brother was gone, Daddy was gone, and like the next morning when I went to let her out to go potty, usually the two dogs would go out together, and so I let her out and like nobody came out behind her, and she like didn't know what to do. She kept coming back and like looking through the window in our French doors to the kitchen, like waiting for someone to come out after her, and that broke my heart. So it took her a few weeks to kind of get her bearings back, but they get there. And so do we as humans. You know, they definitely leave their paw prints on our hearts. I think I'm just gonna grab you. You in there. Stop it. I want to take that clicky button off this pen. I keep hitting it by accident. So let's do up these lambs real quick, and then I'm probably going to call it a night. If I can be done around 1 o'clock, I think that'll be a decent improvement over going to bed at 2, right? That's how that works. Yeah, that's exactly how that works. Baby steps. That's kind of how we've improved our eating habits as well. I say improved our eating habits. We have not behaved over the holiday season at all, not even a little bit. But on the grand scheme of things, look and see if that's a bow on that other sheep's neck. You know, we've done things like, you know, we mostly just drink water anymore. There are some other things that I'll drink, but mostly water. I've been trying to do like smaller, you know, portion sizes over time, and I've been trying to get like, you know, the low fat, low calorie type stuff, and like 9-grain bread instead of just like a regular white bread. So we've made a lot of those changes over time. I just need to make some more of them. Let's do this. That'll look like wool just for demonstration purposes, right? Like I said, I think when I do this as a mosaic, little triangle tiles, I think will simulate finely textured fur. Good enough for my purposes. If you missed it in the beginning, what this is I had a friend who my husband and I do, we have an Extra Life team that we're a part of, which raises money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And as part of our campaign that he and I did, our deal was that for anyone who donated to our campaign in 2020, every excuse me, every $10 would get them an entry into a raffle for a $100 custom either crochet or mosaic piece from me. And the gal that won wanted to do a mosaic, so I asked her what she wanted, and we finally landed on, she had taken some pictures of sunsets over the mountain range, Olympia. And she showed me some, and she told me some stories about them, and when it came to this one, it was a picture taken at pretty much this exact angle. The actual photo has got like city buildings and stuff here, and then the water, and then the mountains are like way further in the background, but she asked me to adapt it. But the lambs are actually figurines that are on her mother's porch, and that picture of from behind the lambs and then seeing the sunset over the mountains was taken the night that her sister passed away. So I said, well, do you want me to do one with the lambs and the sunset and stuff to honor your sister? And so we landed on that. So that's what this is for. And this is just a concept drawing for me to show her kind of what it'll look like and what the colors will be. And I'm going to differentiate the textures and the sizes and the orientation of the tiles to kind of break it up visually. Let's do this here. The only problem is I'm not going to be able to work on this for probably at least a month, because I'm finishing up. I don't know if you saw it earlier. I'll when I'm done here, I'll pull it out and show you guys, but I'm working on a mosaic right now of the seal of the U.S. Coast Guard. I really shot myself in the foot when I started doing those, but I had someone asked me if I could do the Marine Corps seal for their husband, who was having the nope. Yeah. Sorry, same woman, but I'm getting family members mixed up. One of them was for a nephew or a grandson, I think, and one of them was for her husband. Marine Corps. It started with the Marine Corps one, and it's super intricate and detailed. Like, got really small tiles to do the words, and just took so long. Then someone asked me to do the Navy. So I did the Navy, and then someone asked me to do the Army, and I did that, and now I'm doing the Coast Guard. And after this, I'm doing a Marine Corps one again. And that one I'm totally, like, that one is fine, because it's someone I know who asked for it for themselves, because they are in the Marines, have been for, I want to say, over 20 years. They're retiring in December. So I am more than happy to do that. But yeah, those take a very long time. And so I've said that after this last Marine Corps one, I'm not going to do the military SEALs for a while, because they're taking up all my time, and I want to do some other stuff. But anyway, I need to finish that before I can do any other project. So I'm not going to get to this little landscape mosaic for at least a month, but that's another reason why I wanted to start the stream, is because with being able to put this on camera and have people here watching me do this, then it keeps me a little bit accountable. So I kind of have to sit and work on it, and not just work on it for a half an hour and get bored and want to switch and go do something else. So thank you for that. We'll see how long it takes me to get there. I also have a wooden pair of shoes that I'm painting. 2 of them, actually. The secretary at church and her husband, when... I don't think it was them that did the traveling. I think it was his father. No, maybe it was them. Someone in the family went overseas, and it must have been Holland, got wooden pairs of shoes for each of their 4 children of the different sizes that they were at the time. And the girls' shoes, they ended up getting someone to paint their names on them, on the toes, and then put like flowers and stuff around the outside. But then I don't know if that woman died that was doing the painting, or they just like lost touch with her, but the boys' shoes never got done. This was years and years ago. So now she asked me if I could paint the boys' shoes. So that comes in between the mosaic I'm working on now and the Marine Corps one. So you're going to see me paint some wooden shoes here in the next week or so. Hopefully that will go quickly. I have 1.5 shoes done, so I have to finish the one shoe, and then do the other pair. It was going pretty quickly. That's one area where I'm still kind of a perfectionist, so it was taking me a very long time. And then by the time I would do a little bit of something, it looked great, but I was just like, nah, now I gotta stop. So, and then mosaics happened, and then the holidays happened, and I haven't gotten back to it. And I've had those shoes for way longer than I should have, and now I feel bad about it. Do one last thing here. I do miss talking while I'm working. I know I can't hear you guys and your responses, but like Shadow, I appreciate you being in the chat and doing a little back and forth, because I've, realizing how much I miss actually working on something with other people around. When I was leading those art classes, or even taking some of them, you get the instruction, and then there's like 6 of you sitting in the room, but you can still sit and have conversations and show each other your projects and go back and forth, and I've missed that. So even just being able to talk to a few people and know that someone else is out there is helpful for me. And I hope it's helpful for you, even if I'm just providing you with background noise. I do that to a lot of people. Hello, Dragon Pockets, how are you? Hope you're having a good evening, or whatever time it is where you are. UK, yes. Very, very fond of my UK friends. Like I said, I want to go back there. More art and learn new programs and styles. Paradise Tea, what kind of styles, and like just more digital art, like drawing and stuff like that? Because I am very much a beginner in, like, I opened up my tablet on Friday. This is only about the 2nd or 3rd thing that I've done, and I'm still learning the program. But, the fact that I can knock this out in a couple hours while talking to people is something that I never would have been able to do before. So, there's that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all, especially for concept drawing. Thank you, Dragon Pockets. I appreciate that. Yeah, when I did my logo, which, if you zoom in and look at it, there's lots of shading and stuff in there. I had no idea I could do that at all. I did one painting that was super intricate probably 3 years ago, and I spent, you know, quite a bit of time doing the fine details, and that kind of surprised me with how good it turned out. But it's just not something that I had really gone back to. So yeah, this is surprising for me, but I'm really excited. And I want to like look through the manual and dig more into some of the other buttons and special settings and things. I'm not like, this is a symmetry tool. So if you want to draw like a face, man, I don't know, Barbara, I'll eat your heart out. Yeah. I could have used this so many times over the last like decade in different projects that I've been doing. I don't know why somebody didn't tell me about this before, but oh, where did it? Nope. I need stop. Get over here. There we go. So if you're drawing a face, you can have both sides be even. I mean, come on. How many... The number of times that I've like put rulers down on a piece of paper just to make sure that I got tick marks on both sides so that this curve of the face on this side, when I freehanded it, would match up with the curve on that. How many hours I've wasted in the last decade. Cross stitch, yes. I will tell you what though, I have never finished a cross stitch. I get project ADD sometimes, and I'd get into a really good pattern, and then I would see something else that I wanted to do, and I'd put it down, and it would sit there for, yes, technology is great, except when it isn't, and it breaks, but it's still kind of great. You know, you set down your project, and then it gets jumbled in, you know, a pile of other things, and then you don't know where your thread is, and then you can't find anything, and yeah. And then you say, oh, well, this project looks cool. I'm gonna start this one, and I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm gonna actually finish it, and then you don't. So that's where I am with cross stitch. But you know what I do have? Have any of you guys done those the diamond paintings, where you have the sticky mat with the cross stitch grid on it, and you take the little pen and pick up the little, they call them diamonds, but the little jewel things. I love those. I have finished some of those, and a year ago Christmas time, my husband got me a ginormous, like probably 3 by 4 foot diamond painting that is 6, I almost said 6 quadrants, which isn't a thing. 6 panels of Disney princesses, and I've finished 4 of them, but I've always had to put it away to work on commissions that people have paid for that are ordering from me, and I keep waiting for the free time to finish it, but it is going to be so majestic when it's done, and I'm going to get it custom framed. The ones that I've finished, Dragon Pockets, are smaller, and so I just kind of have them tacked up to the wall in my sheet cave. But this one, I'm actually going to get it like custom framed with like a nice black frame. And in our house, we have one of those houses where like this ledge here is ground level and the window comes up. So there's like 7 steps up, and then you turn around, and then there's another 7 steps up to the main floor. So at the bottom of this set of stairs in the hallway is just a big blank empty wall. She cave, like a man cave, but a she cave. I don't do the she shed. I get my own cave too. She cave. So I'm gonna have the big like custom frame and just put it right at the bottom of the stairs, and it's gonna be really nice. And being bad at video games, I am one of the most mediocre video game players you will ever see. I still have not gotten a crown in Fall Guys. Admittedly, though, I'm pretty sure it's because I spent all this time trying to play on a mouse and keyboard. And as soon as I got a video game controller hooked up to my computer, I was like, oh, I get it. This is better. You're an idiot. So, you know, we'll see. I did really, yeah, use a controller. I know, I know. I did love me some Mario, and my mom and I would definitely really get into Mario and going through and completing all that stuff. So, you also have 0 crowns. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I kind of stopped caring, and I just have fun and get as far as I can get. But those moments where you just get like so close, and you're like, oh, but I wanted it, and I didn't remember how much I wanted it. Why am I doing it this way? Yeah, I'm mad at that. That's one thing with the diamond painting. It's the same. No, I like talking to people. This is what I wanted to do. Plus, I'm still not completely wound down enough to go to bed. And if I've realized that if I go to bed when I'm not tired, I end up laying there awake longer. So that's fine. The diamond painting, it's the same type of instructions as cross stitch. You have the grid. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's a mat that is very, very sticky, and it's covered in plastic, so you can like lift up little parts of the plastic as you work on it to keep the rest of it sticky. And it's a grid with you know, each of the colors is a different color and has a different like symbol attached to it. And then you have your key of what the symbols are for the different gems. And the little, the gems, they're kind of like faceted on top. And then you have a pen, but the end of the pen, it's hollow on the inside. And you dip it in this like putty type stuff that sticks in there. And then when you stick it on top of the pen, it picks up the little gem. So you pick up the gem, and you put it down on the sticky part of the mat, and then it holds it there in place, and then you do that for the whole grid, and then you have your picture. So to me, that's my way of finishing a cross stitch, because it's the same method, and you get kind of the same look at the end, but you don't have to dick around with all the thread and the cutting and the, yeah. Finicky stuff drives me nuts. So my mother has been working on 2 very large cross stitches to go in her hallway for like 5 years. She's got these like big hoops that stand on the floor, and they've been sitting next to her chair, and she'll go and work on it for like an hour at a time, like every week or so. Just for like 5 years been working on these, and working on 2 simultaneously. You wonder where I get it from. So yeah, draw digitally better. Yeah. Yeah, Paradise Tea. Like I was saying, that so many projects that I've done in the last decade could have been so much easier if I would have realized how convenient this tablet was. I'll tell you, this tablet, it's a Gaomon, Gaomon, I think, for like M410 2018 or something like that. It was just like $50 on Amazon. What I was not paying attention to, I thought I was just getting like a standalone tablet that like it would be like on the screen that you're drawing on. This actually attaches to your computer with a USB cable, and then you get the software. Like you can see, I'm using the Autodesk Sketchbook, which is free. But I'm finding out that's actually better for my purposes, not just for streaming, but the fact that I can, like if I'm trying to copy something, like when I did my logo, I had my husband take a picture of me like this with the scarf around my face, and I had that on one monitor, and then I could have the sketchbook on the other monitor, and so that worked. So if you want something a little cheapy like that just for $50, just to start playing around with it and seeing what the effects are, just like I'm doing. Good call, Dragon Pockets. Very good call, because you know in about 30 seconds my power is going to go out or something crazy, and then I'm going to cry. You sound like someone who's learned from experience. I was actually reminding myself to do that even yesterday. It's like, oh, you gotta save that or something bad's gonna happen. Boop. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. One of the last things I was doing when I was physically in the office before the quarantine started, my boss wanted me to rewrite our administration manuals because they were outdated and horribly organized. Whoever wrote the manuals for our company, my boss and I have been redoing them for years. I had a whole section of a manual rewritten, like easily 10 pages, and then I kicked the power strip under my computer. I had to go walk around the block about 5 times before I could come back. Yeah, that's what every cell in my body was screaming. No! Yeah, that was a bad day. But now that we're all working at home, that's not on the list of priorities, so I don't have to write any more manuals for a while. Fine with me. All right, UK friends and other folk, I think I'm gonna call it a night. You know what I did not do was sign my work. And I always like to sign my work when I'm done. Usually put it in the bottom right. HMS. My initials in a little circle. That sucked. We're gonna take that away. And there we go. Save that. Thank you so much for joining me for my little late night drawing session. Thank you for the support. Dragon Pockets, thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day / evening / whatever it is where you are, especially with a lot of people starting to get into the swing of things, you know, after the holidays, a lot of us going back to work starting today or tomorrow or whatever it is for you. So I hope your day goes well, and you know, keep an eye on this channel because we're going to be doing more stuff like this, and we're going to be doing art classes. Thank you for the follow. Art classes, stuff where I can teach you stuff. I'm thinking one of my first projects is going to be a wine bottle painting class where we, it's just going to take a wine bottle and acrylic paint and paint brushes, and then there's these little cork lights that you can buy. It's a plastic cork with a little string of LED lights that hangs off it with a switch, so you can shove the lights down in the wine bottle and cork it, and then you paint the outside to look all pretty. And so we might do one of those classes where we can all sit and chat and work on it together. And then also gaming. I've got a bunch of friends that want to do the gaming, like Miss Envy, and you know, even any of you guys, if we do something like Among Us or Fall Guys, or want to get thanks so much, Shadow, I appreciate that, get into some games together, I would love to do that. So yeah, keep an eye on this channel, and we're gonna have some fun together. So hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you soon.